and come back for seconds. So
Definitely.
yeah, it's oh, what do we do with this space? This is the question I'm still struggling with. What does this create? I mean, I know how to be it, and I can possibly give you a taste of it through the internet.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like,
And can we all be space
oh, absolute.
and create that change in our lives?
Yeah, I watched 100 people do it in one class.
Mm-hmm.
I watched people who were a man in the first class, and I talk about him a lot. He came to the taster evening, intro evening, and before the classes started, he comes up to me, very abrupt. I've written you a letter, and he hands me this piece of paper. I said, cool. He said, will you read it? I said, sure. I promise I'll read it. And the morning he comes back before the beginning class. So, did you read my letter? I said, yes, I read it twice. He says, so, what are we going to do about it? I says, why don't we just see what happens with the class? Now, this man had tried to commit suicide. He saw no light in his world.
Mm-hmm.
He felt so much grief for his wife who he couldn't even reach and hold. Okay? And he was in deep despair.
Right.
So during the class, we start, and he's off to my left behind me. So he's hiding back so I can't see him in the class.
Mm.
Within an hour and a half, he's moved right round to where he's standing in the classroom, but in full view, and he's smiling. And I said, Chris, you've got to stop smiling. People think you're happy. And he didn't stop smiling for the whole weekend.
Mm.
And I've got photos of him with tears in his face, being hugged by the girls in the class, and this absolute joy. He came to the next class with his wife, and they were like honeymooners.
Oh, nice.
They couldn't stop touching each other. They worked only with each other. There's joy. It was so phenomenal to see. That changed. And all that was him receiving space and being allowed to be that space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we create that space through gratitude, absolute allowance for ourselves as well as other people around us. Mm-hmm. Be willing to be totally vulnerable. Mm-hmm. Acknowledge that the other person is absolutely vulnerable. Honoring that person. Honoring yourself first and honoring that person. Being the space of invitation is, for me, the most important. And it's just where you're not trying to tell people what's wrong with them. You're going, hi. Mm-hmm. And just waiting. And the body lets go. They start talking about shit they never talked about for years. And the body lets go. And the body lets go.
Yeah.
And the body lets go. And they carry their space with them. The biggest thing that people say when they go to access classes is, get home. And a week later, I'm back to being where I was. Well, I find that with a lot of the people that come to the classes, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And they reach out to others and they build on each other. I mean, we did a class in Paris. And I still haven't seen that class shrink. Mm. They're still firing, they're still joyful, they're still beautiful people. And they're still creating, and they're creating more and more and more. And they're creating differently.
Yeah, and that's beautiful. And that's, and that's the thing with when you and your body start to let go of those stories and those limitations and those wounds, then you can start to create your life.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because before that, you really can't. It's like you're covered in a shroud, with all that stuff, right?
Yep. To me, your stories become steel bars that you can't break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's not until you realize that those stories are just energy and that they're just smoke, they can just drift away in a breeze,
Yeah.
then you become free.
I mean, I'm just experiencing so much stuff right now myself. So it's, it's like, yeah, and Caroline says, just being here, listening, my body is happily, I'm going to assume she's saying shaking. She's got shivers and tears just from listening. Oh, shivers from Jackie McLean, just from the space that you're being right now,
Yeah.
And it's like, because this.
And this is the space we can all be.
Yeah.
And that's the space that we're all meant to be. Before we got told about separation, before we got told that our bodies were wrong, before we got told that there are certain things that we're not allowed to do or be with our bodies, before we got told that our bodies can't tell us what's right.
Yeah. So many stories we took on as real.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That we didn't have to. All right. So let's take a question from Karen before I forget. What do you think?
Yep.
And you can continue being space.
Yep.
Let me unmute you, Karen.
I can't help it. I'm sorry.
That's great. I love it. All right, Karen, I've unmuted you.
Thank you. That's a great conversation, Greg. And I take care of my mom. She's 94, but she's dying, has been for about a year and a half, but she keeps surviving. Her body is declining more and more. Her heart, even just walking to the bathroom, and she will every 2 hours. You can see her struggling, and she's pressing the emergency button for me to respond to her. Or there's not much I can do unless I medicate her, give her narcotics to kind of knock her out so that she just rests. But her body's failing, but she's a survivor. She's a preemie baby. She survived, and she survived the communist China. She's survived this, so that's all her stories right now. And she's got dementia, and my body is now like failing because I'm exhausted getting up, around the clock to take care of her, respond to her. But she's not really she's choosing to survive, to heal. She's an amazing healer. I mean, she goes to the osteopath and she heals on the table, literally. She's amazing. So I don't know how to have any more conversation. I talked to her about the future, what choices she can make. And she just, I don't know. She doesn't want to go there or can't go there. And I cleared all her oaths and vows. There's lots of ancestors hanging out in the room with her, waiting for her to go,
Absolutely.
So I don't know what else I can do, but I am just getting really exhausted myself, my body.
Okay. So first things first, get you onto a table and get lots of body work done just for you.
I do that. About when I do exchanges with people. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean where you totally receive, not just doing a swap, not just doing an exchange.
Okay.
But I mean really lie there and totally receive.
Okay.
Wow. Boom. Cool. If you can do that, what'll happen is you'll change you. Okay. And then when you come back and you touch your mum, just run restoration communion with the earth.
I do that for her, exit stage left and restoration communion with earth.
Yeah.
Sometimes it runs really hot and sometimes it doesn't run at all. I think it's up to her body or maybe up to me. I don't know. But
So when you do it though, look at the space that you are while you're doing it.
It's not always great.
Absolutely. See, and when you can do it from no point of view, with no agenda to the outcome, that's when the magic will happen. And just give your mum permission to let go. Just say, honey, I love you, but you can let go. You don't have to keep doing this. Not for me.
I've had those conversations with her too. And they don't go anywhere. So
I know. So, but it's often, there's another energy. I can't, without touching you at the moment, there's another energy that's underlying that. And at some level, are you holding it there?
Me holding it in
Yeah. Are you,
so I don't explode?
are you really willing to let your mum go?
There's a part of me that's not willing to let her go. Yes, you're correct.
Yeah,
I know. I
yeah.
keep working on that too.
And it is hard because we become attached to the person, even though they piss us off, and we're exhausted. We still don't want them to die because we love them.
Okay.
Yeah, love you.
All right. Thank you, Greg.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Karen.
Should we check with Mr. Randy?
Yeah, let me just find him. Hold on. I'll unmute you, Randy. 1 second. I knew Randy was going to be on the call, and I knew he was going to ask a question. So let me just unmute you, Randy. I see you. I found you, and then I lost you.
I got it.
it.
Ah, there. Perfect. Good.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Randy.
I'm at this place where I'm learning to heal MS and the spine injury. So I'm at that place where, I accept and I allow I am creation itself. I took bars a few years ago. It's been expanding pretty good.
Yeah.
But I'm at that place now where no matter what I do, it still feels like I'm dying.
We all are.
I think I got a couple of years, but just to function, just to get up and do things, the things you need to do.
Yeah. So, Randy?
Is painful beyond equation.
Absolute. Yeah. Got a question for you.
Yes, please.
When did you decide to die? When did you decide that life was too hard?
It presented as an option about a year ago. Where I was saying, I was speaking to God, saying, take me or make me whole, and so, I found peace with that one way or another.
Yeah. But before that,
I influence lives every day.
Yeah.
With stuff like compassion is a verb.
Yeah.
Feel it.
But before that, when did you decide to die? When did you decide that life was too hard?
Not sure. What are you getting? I'm not sure.
Yeah. How long ago did you hurt your back?
Maybe 7, 8 years.
Okay. And what was happening about that time?
You mean the physical act or the drama?
Just the drama and the daily thing of being.
Addicts, people are presenting as extreme addicts in my life.
Yep.
That I had no control over. So, the only thing I could do was find serenity for myself.
Yep.
And I was able to do that, which, drove the addicts and away.
Yep.
Which gave me more serenity.
Yep, it does.
But they still latch on to me psychically.
Absolutely. And
like
that's yeah.
I'm sorry.
So are you still trying to heal them, even though they're not physically in your life?
I turn on the light, it attracts bugs. You can feel the depth to that. It's really deep.
So, is it a good habit or a bad habit, my friend?
Which? Turning on the light?
Yeah. Being a healer of everybody you don't like.
No matter what, I can't stop. It's the only, I source a lot of healing, and I try to hold on to it and be that. It's like my life's like the story of Rudolph. The story. I recommend everybody look at that again because it's got everything. It's got below. It's got the Bigfoot. It's brilliant.
Can I suggest something for you? I suggest that you actually take that statement, I can't change this, out of your life and go, what can I do now to be different? See, I couldn't walk into a room without feeling everybody's pain. And in the end, I had to decide either I live with the pain or I let it go. And now I can go into a room with as many people as I like, and I'm totally oblivious until I touch you. And then, or I look at you and go, oh, bugger. But it really is a choice that you can actually ask your body to let go the job of healing everybody else around you. Because you see,
You read it. I understand that you're reading that because I haven't given that up yet. You know, I'm serving the whole humanity.
I know.
I bless M fields. Like the blame game is misused in modern medicine. I bless that.
Yeah.
And you know, there seems to be a paradoxical nature to how we draw all this stuff that's other than love. You know, even if you're still and empty and choosing the still point and to be space, then I feel all this stuff coming at me still. So I have to express and expand to be.
No, just acknowledge it's not yours. And stop locking it into your body. When you acknowledge that most of what you're perceiving around you is not yours, that is somebody else's, that doesn't matter whose, then you stop sticking your body with it, and your body then has time to heal itself. Hippocrates once said, heal thyself first. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to let go trying to be the savior of the world to heal you first?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Then choose it, my friend. Let go. Let go of the need to help everybody else before you can help yourself. Otherwise, it's not long and you won't have the time to do that.
I've been playing with that. I've been playing with that concept for a long time now.
Yeah. So a good friend of mine would say, stop it.
I was going to say, stop playing and just choose.
Yeah. Choose it, my friend. Choose. Choose to be well.
What happens?
Choose.
What happens is, you know, I'm really advanced at this, as you are. So I get to this place where, you know, it's like an empty closet or an empty garage. Yep. You know, create the space, and I be the space, and I choose the space, and then all this, it's like the psychosis of attention seeking and things that are others, you know, just can't stay in the empty space and floods it full like an empty closet.
Yep.
You know,
and you just absolute. But that's fine. Just acknowledge it's not yours. There's everywhere else is junk.
And
don't take it into your body.
Close the door.
But then it's my space getting filled.
No.
And I judge that.
You're an infinite being, my friend. There's no way that they can fill your space. It's only a choice. Truly.
That's what it feels like.
I know. Yeah, I know that one. Believe me, I so know that one.
Like if you empty your whole garage and you just leave it there and you like it like that. Like, you know, all of a sudden, if you don't guard it, all of a sudden it's full of other people's stuff.
No, because it's just passing through. Like we have a saying in New Zealand, well, where I grew up, I am the river and the river is me. And that's to remind us that the stuff that goes past us goes past us. We're in the river and the river flows around us like a boulder. So it's all there, but it doesn't have to stick.
Mm-hmm. Good.
So again, it comes to choice. You can choose to let it stick you, or you can choose to let it flow past you. You can choose to live and thrive, or you can choose to let it kill you. It's a choice. And for me, as you know, everybody has their own choice.
I hear what you're saying.
No right. Yeah. So up to you what you'd like to choose. Personally, you've got a lot more to give if you would let yourself. And you can do that from a space of freedom rather than entrapment. Have to think about it.
Yeah.
Cool.
and then choose.
Yeah. Thanks, my friend.
Thank you, Randy.
As the body fails, it's confusing.
Yep, absolutely. I spent 5.5 years in a wheelchair after 3 strokes.
It's amazing. That's why I'm here.
I spent time paralyzed from a bee sting. And it's like, I don't have time for this shit. I've got too much to do.
I've got so much to do.
Yeah, and you do too. But you have to choose it. You have to choose it. And to choose it, you have to choose to let go of all the other idiots out there that are trying to suck you dry. Cut the cords.
Yeah.
Be well, my friend.
Thank you, Randy. So, Greg, you brought up a lot of stuff during that conversation.
Sorry.
Which was great. But I wanted to ask really quickly for some of the people who are new still to access, and definitely you. So on a daily basis, when you're working with yourself and your body, and like you just told Randy and all of us how you had 3 strokes, you're paralyzed, you had other near-death life experiences as well, right? So now when you are going about your day every day, you and your body, what questions do you ask your body? How do you talk to your body? What changes have you made? What tools do you use on a regular basis?
I never say to my body, oh my God, I'm sore or I'm in pain. I always say, wow, what is that? Mm-hmm. And then I let it go because it's not mine. I always ask my body, are you hungry? Do you want food this morning? Do you want just a coffee? Do you even want coffee? Mm-hmm. And I no longer make my body eat because of habit. I try not to. There's still times that I go stupid and I'll make my body sore or, I regret eating too much. Mm-hmm. But it's always fun. My body looks after me. I don't get hangovers. And which is kind of cool.
I know. I noticed that too lately. I don't get hangovers anymore. It's like,
I can't understand how people do it, but that's the choice. So, and I asked my body, so what is that? What is that I'm aware of? The other day,
I don't think it's me this time. I never know.
So 50 kilos. So with this RS Wolfhound puppy, I'm running. And next thing you know, I'm face plowing the ground with my head and my shoulder, and I come up and I feel like I've dislocated my shoulder.
Oh, wow.
And I thought, you idiot, what was that all about? And I was like, so have I turned my body? Gaby says, have you turned the body off? And I think, maybe I have. Oh, that was a stupid choice. Okay, it's time to now wake that up and stop doing that stupid stuff. Wow. And it's just, but then it's like, so what else is possible? Mm-hmm. And, it's been a long time since I played rugby or played gridiron and played stupid, silly buggers. And here I am trying to think I'm, back on the football field. So, but it was interesting.
It's interesting.
I really, I don't lock stuff in my body by saying, oh my God, I'm in pain.
Yeah.
Yesterday was the first time I took painkillers and I can't remember when I last took them.
Mm-hmm. So that's a great question. What is this?
So,
when something comes up, whether it's your emotions, whether it's mental stuff coming up, whether it's the body, what is this, right? And what can I do with it? And can I change it? How can I change it?
Who can change it for me? I wish. But, and there are times when I still forget the tools and I feel sad about myself. And then somebody comes along like Gaby and says, so who are you being?
Who are you being?
Oh, cool. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. And after an I'll even ask myself that. So who am I being? What am I being? How old am I? Oh my God, I'm back to being that boy. Okay, cool. I don't need that anymore.
Yeah. And so there's no judgment when you forget, it's I forgot. And then you start, then you choose, then you ask a question, and then you move forward. Right.
Yeah. It's more destructive to beat yourself up because you've forgotten the tool than it is for me to not use the tool.
Yeah. And now it's like, I can use the tool. It's like, after like an hour of going through something, it's like, maybe I can use a tool. What tool can I use? All right, I'll use this one. And then automatically you're out of that funk anyway, as soon as you've got the awareness of, oh, I can use a tool. There's something there to use, right?
Yep, absolutely. But the best one, it's just, what is that? What is it?
Yeah.
You know, I know my body heals faster than the average bear, and you know, I'm feeling great. And again, you know, it's only 2 days later.
And that's because you work with your body all the time, or you're being space, or you're getting your bars run, like, you know, you're doing all those things.
Yep. And when I can get somebody to do energy work like Gabi, or if I'm not anywhere near Gabi, they get somebody else to run some energy work on my body. But again, I ask my body, do you want them to touch you? No? Okay, sorry. And lots of people offer to run my bars. But
good question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I never thought I didn't think to ask that question. It's like, you know, do I want this person to touch me? You know? Yeah.
Because, you know, so many times we say yes to somebody out of obligation. We think we're supposed to say yes.
Yeah.
But sometimes our body's going, that person is not touching me. And we let them anyway.
So here's a personal, vulnerable question here. So I was just in a 3-day body class, right, with Cass a couple of weeks ago. And it's mostly women, but there were a few men, right? There were a few men, but mostly women.
Yep.
And I know for myself, I'm not comfortable if a man touches me.
Yeah.
So that's partly because of, you know, some of the stuff I've been through.
Experience,
Right? But it's like, not there yet. Right?
And that's okay too.
Yeah, right? So it's not about forcing yourself to do it, to get over it.
Oh, God, no. No, because you start doing that and you'll make yourself wrong, and then you'll make the person that's touching you wrong.
Yeah.
And everything gets miserable.
Yeah. I mean, you know, when you work with me for like a few minutes, you know.
But it's like, so.
It's different.
What is that? Yeah. This is. Yeah.
So again, that's an honoring of your body and you by asking that question.
Yeah.
And, you know, and if you don't
absolutely
feel comfortable, trust your knowing, right?
Yeah, yeah. And because of my past, or is this person give me the grapes?
Right.
and if it's just because of your past, you can say, mind, let it go.
Mm-hmm.
I can receive this, and then see what happens.
Right.
And the mind goes, oh, that's not so bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Ingrid, did you have a question? I keep seeing Ingrid unmuting herself, so I'm just wondering if Ingrid has a question.
Hello.
No, Ingrid? I'm assuming no. Maybe she's just having problems. Just checking. She's not talking, so I was like, okay.
Okay.
No worries. Just checking. I can't even mute her, so that's so weird. Okay, so that was the thing. Like, don't force yourself to be in a situation where you're uncomfortable.
No.
Right. So so ask those questions of the body and trust yourself. Trust the answers that you receive or the awarenesses that you get. Right.
Yep, absolutely. I often tell people, so where is it your body wants my hands? And they go, oh, here. And this one will be okay. Okay, so that was your mind. Now, where does your body want? I say to them, we don't have to put my hands here, but can you just acknowledge that the different play, and we slowly work towards what it is their body wants.
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
And so, you know, you've been creating a lot because you started shifting and changing and asking questions. You've changed so much of your entire life. I mean, you're living in Austria now.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's such a magical place. And
it is.
Like, yeah, and again, it's the creation, choosing to create.
Yeah.
And being willing to be. Gary gave me some advice when I was at the level 2 and 3 in Melbourne the first time I went. Because I said, Gary, I feel like I'm in an aeroplane and I'm in a tailspin. I can't tell you which way's up, which way's down, which way's north or south. And he says, no form, no structure, no significance. Okay, yeah, exactly. He goes, welcome to my world. I says, well, great, but what the fuck do I do with this?
Yeah.
And he goes, be open to all the possibilities, especially the ones you haven't considered yet.
Mm-hmm. That's great for all of us. Be open to all possibilities, even those you haven't even considered yet.
Yeah. And that was a turning point for me. After that, I was willing to see possibilities and actually willing to look at them. You know, if Gabi had asked me before that point to come to Vienna, I would have said, oh, no, I couldn't possibly.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd let go so much that when she did say, so what would it take? Just an invitation.
Mm-hmm.
And here I am.
Here you are.
And now they can't get rid of me.
No, we don't want to get rid of you.
No.
So Jackie has a question.
Yeah.
Jackie, I'm going to unmute you. 1 second. Hello.
Hi, Jackie.
Hello, Greg and Alara. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
This conversation has done so much for me in this past 55 minutes.
Good.
At the start of this conversation, I just received an email from the mother of a young man I worked with a few days ago. He's been struggling with pharmaceutical drugs because he has a problem. He has extreme pain and he goes into convulsions. He has epilepsy.
Epilepsy.
Yes. So I worked on him last week. I do hypnosis and bars. And then he said he slept for 2 days really well, that he hasn't. Just at the beginning of this call, I got a text from his mother who says that he's in emergency at the hospital because he's had 2 seizures this morning. And I immediately went into the wrongness of me. I'm like, fuck, like, oh my God. And what happens if he dies? And So when you spoke about be space, I decided be space. And I wrote to his mother, just be space for Sam. And then she said yes. And so I don't even know what my question is for you, but I have tears.
Can you just acknowledge that you gave him 2 days of peace? How many times do we forget the good things we've accomplished because of one small thing? Cool. I'm glad you can do that. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You gave him 2 days of peace. Imagine what it'd been like if he had had seizures all leading up to today and then ended up on A&E. Imagine what his choices might be now. But instead, he had 2 days of peace. Guess what he's going to come and choose?
Oh, gosh.
Okay? You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Jackie. I've got shivers all over. Yeah. Yeah, and so that is such a great point that Greg just brought up. How many times do we not acknowledge the good that we do, the gifts that we are, just the little shifts that we make in people's lives and including our own, it's like, oh my God, it's like that is one of the biggest ones for me. I don't acknowledge anything that I do or be, it's like, oh, fudge, it's like, so I'm having like a meltdown right now here. And Caroline is saying, I love you, Greg. This call has opened so much gratitude and compassion and awareness. So much love. Wow. Yeah, I love Caroline. She cannot always be live, because she's at work. So she types in these beautiful, beautiful messages.
Yeah.
I just love that. Thank you, Caroline. But it's so true. Where are we not acknowledging the gift that we are, the contribution that we are? Where are we not acknowledging just all the little things that we do every day that make a difference in people's lives, right?
Yeah. And even in our own lives.
Yeah. And even in our own lives, we definitely don't acknowledge that. Wow. Yeah. And then along with that, just being space in our own lives.
Yeah.
How much more can you create when you're being space? Right?
Yeah. And I don't know how it's to describe it except calling it space.
Mm-hmm.
But there's an energy in this space.
Exactly.
I tell the peeps in my class, it's the space, it's the energy that you feel when you pass over.
Mm.
It's the space that you go to. There's an energy of gratitude and joy that is so immense. And so when you can be that and remember that space, and we all came from that space, and babies and children remember it, and we forget it. But when you can remember that space, nothing can stop you because you realize you're infinite.
And that is the space that I go to or touch when I meditate, and it's like, it's indescribable. It's like, but it's like when you're there, for me, when I'm there, I have no problems. I have no worries. I have nothing, it's like total peace. And that space, if we can bring that into our day-to-day lives with our bodies, including our bodies, why wouldn't we heal? Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But we're always stuck in our heads and in our stories instead of being the space. So what I say sometimes when I just want to be space is be space, as a reminder of being back in that space. And, I just want to show when I was little, like really little, like not even 2 years old. And I don't remember this, but I keep hearing the stories. My parents and my aunt, I would just be sitting there. I would just be sitting there, not doing anything, my eyes closed, sitting there, not really sleeping, just sitting there. And for me, it's like I was just sitting there being space.
Yep.
Because I was little, I was just being space, and I didn't want to do anything else except be that space. So now, though, we can use that space as that creative energy as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's where you invite the body to go to heal. It's where you invite the body to go to create. It's where you invite others to be.
And when we're being space as a facilitator or healer, I use healer, with other people, that creates even more, because we're there's no agenda, we're not in our head, we're not in the process or whatever, we're just being space, and in that space is that allowance.
Yeah. See, right? I've even let go of that, the title healer. Mm-hmm. Because I don't heal jack shit. I don't heal anybody.
Exactly. That's why I had quotes.
You can quote me on that one. I don't. Mm-hmm. I don't create change. You create the change in your body. Mm-hmm. Sure, I create the space. Mm-hmm. But it's you that lets go. It's you that chooses the change. It's you that chooses to be more or less.
Yeah.
Nobody else. I can't force you to be well. Well, yeah, I probably could. But it's not fun because you hate me afterwards.
It may not be lasting either, because
you'll just find another way to die.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's not fun.
No. And that's so disempowering too,
Dishonoring.
And dishonoring, yeah absolutely. That's why I don't call myself a healer. I'm not a healer. I'm just holding space.
Yep, absolute.
For you to do your thing, whatever you want. And that's the thing. This, like in all of these calls, all these shows, we're talking about choice. We're talking about choice, and we're talking about creation, and we're talking about being in the question, right? Asking questions and being in that space of being in the question. And that is one of, please don't screen share. Please don't screen share, Ingrid. That doesn't help us.
You can change it down the bottom.
I can't.
Alara, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And controlling participants.
No, that didn't work. No, that didn't work. Crap. Oh, got it. Perfect, kind of.
Oh, there we go.
There.
Da, da, da,
Thank
da,
you.
da, da,
Thank
da,
you.
da, da.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, and I totally forgot what I was saying. Totally forgot what I was saying. But it's about
I
being
must. Yeah.
the space. Oh yeah, Caroline says space holder, a new title. Exactly.
Yeah.
We're just space holders.
Yeah.
So yeah, the choice, the question, the creation, all of that you can start to use to go beyond mediocre to infinite possibility, right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
so for us, that's what the premise of this series is. Create your life, go beyond mediocre to infinite possibility. So do you need any last points or tools that you'd like to share with us about going beyond mediocre to infinite possibility, other than the ones you've already shared? Because they were amazing.
Well, when my first, well, not only if I come in, but it was one of my 7-day events I went to, Gary talked about letting go what we know and believe is conceivable and moving into beyond conceivable, into the unconceivable, and choosing from there. And now that really blew my mind, because what's unconceivable we can't even imagine.
No, exactly. Cannot even imagine.
And then I really chose that. I really chose to start living an unconceivable life. And guess what? For all the reality that I've grown up with in my childhood, and even as a young adult, and even as a father of the kids, what I'm doing now and being now was inconceivable back then. My friends, there were friends that unfriended me on Facebook because what I'm doing is so outside the reality, it's inconceivable.
I love that. Unconceivable. I love that. It totally takes you out of form, structure, significance, out of the box completely, right? Out of this reality, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Because you can't even imagine it. You can't define it even, right? It's undefinable. So like Randy says, brilliant share.
Undefinable.
Yeah, absolutely. Man. Whew, I love it. So go ahead.
Yeah. No. I talk too much.
Are you kidding? I'm trying to make up for the time that we lost because my computer started to act up. I was going to say, does anybody have any last questions that they'd like to ask Greg? So Caroline, what do you mean no? No what? So no last questions maybe. So yeah, if you have any last questions for Greg about the body. Oh yeah, Greg, you don't talk too much. About the body, about being fake, about creation, all of that stuff. Feel free, because it's Greg is really great about doing a lot of free calls on Zoom, all the time. And Greg, you're also really good about doing classes all the time too, which I haven't been to yet, but one of these days I'm going to make it, and so you're in demand, right? So you can find out about Greg on Facebook, and he's always got something happening and going on. Greg holds classes all over the world.
Yeah, Germany, we're going to Salzburg soon, and blah blah blah. But Budapest, Paris.
He hasn't been to Canada yet, Caroline. But
no, sorry.
Maybe one day.
It just takes an invitation.
Just invite him. He'll come. And if he goes, well, depending on the time of the year, I don't go in the winter, I might go too. So we'll see. But yeah, Greg travels and does classes. And what I've seen from your classes just on Facebook is like, they're huge. Your classes are in demand. You are wanted. You have magic hands, and so what would it take for all of us to experience your magic, your classes, your brand, and your energy?
Yeah. Thank you. But I asked the question, what would it take for all of us to realize that we all have magic hands? We can all be that.
Yeah.
It's a choice.
It's a choice. Sometimes you make it sound so simple. It's a choice.
I had one lady say, "You say just a choice one more time, I'm going to slap you."
But it's true though, right? So yeah, I love that. Thank you. And thank you everybody for your questions and your comments.
Okay.
I apologize for the
Colette, did you want to say something?
Colette, did you have a question, Colette?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I know you want to go.
No, go ahead.
Well, it just was so interesting. I didn't even want to interrupt. I have I really love this show, and it just makes me more and more paying attention, being more aware. I've always loved access consciousness. I wanted to take classes. I want to get healing work, but like you had said to the other lady before, I don't like doing exchanges anymore. I just want to be able to give money to, do that exchange.
Yep.
And just have a wonderful session, with someone. But I'm just not getting those funds coming in. I mean, I feel like I'm putting things on hold when there's so much I want to do that does require, the money thing. This is a long conversation, I'm sure, money thing. But I'm just saying, how do I get to the point where I can just accept, or I don't know what the word would be.
That's a great question.
Visualize I could do that. But I really want to, I just feel like I put things on hold for taking classes or having these wonderful healing sessions. There's someone I know in my state, Whitney, and I would love to have her come to the yoga studio where I work and do the classes and take classes from her, do the bars and all that, but just have to put it on hold. Whitney Christina, you might know her. But anyway.
Not probably met her, but I don't know.
Okay.
So when you're asking, are you asking from the space of lack and desire? Yeah. So what would happen if you felt the energy of joy at being able to do everything and anything you wanted?
It's a good feeling. I do feel it. Wow. I'm really feeling it.
Look at the body language. It's a good feeling. I really want it.
Oh, I'm doing that. Okay. All right. How about this?
Yeah.
Great
feeling. But this is it. So the universe doesn't hear German. It doesn't hear French. It doesn't hear English. Yeah. It doesn't hear Maori.
Right. Mary? Yeah.
It's the energy behind the request. So if you're saying, I want $100,000 in my bank account, now, please, the universe goes, it just has lack.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and so it's like, wow. I mean, I watched Garby choose to get an Irish Wolfhound, and all she did was, oh, wow, an Irish Wolfhound. That's all she did. 2 weeks later, we're being connected to the one we have now. It just started. Boom, boom. The universe goes, oh, here, catch. But it was from the joy and the wonder of that request. Mm-hmm. It wasn't even a request. It was just like, wow, how would that make me feel? And I told the universe, either my life changes or I'm getting off the bus. And this time I make it so you can't send me back.
Okay.
And then I demanded of myself to create as much as I could to become what it is I was asking the universe to help me be.
Okay. Yes. A lot of times I'll ask to help me to help myself.
Yeah, because really, truth, who is the universe?
Us, all around. We are. Really, it's in us.
Absolutely.
All around us, yes.
So when we request of the universe, we are requesting of every aware particle, a molecule around us, even the air is willing to give to us. And then all we have to do is demand of ourselves that we create that space. It's the start.
So I get in my own way.
Well, I know Colette pretty well for the past couple of years, and Colette is in her head a lot.
No.
Yes and
No.
no.
You're
When
not
I'm,
the only one. You're not
when
the
I'm
only
in
one.
question mode, you're right.
Yeah.
When I'm figuring out my life, you're right. And it really does come from here. You're right, the heart. Sorry,
Well,
Lord.
you're asking questions, but with a question, like it's like a statement with a question mark attached. It's not the universal opening questions, you know.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind.
If you, oh no, that's in German. So I was
Don't keep it in mind. Just say, okay.
Yeah.
Let me choose a different way of asking a question.
Okay.
There's some really cool tools out there, and the one is just, so what else is possible?
Yeah.
See, that's what I want. I really, like I said, I really, really want to take access consciousness classes and all that. So
Just
So
ask that.
what
Just
would
ask
it
that
take?
one question.
what would it
What
take?
else is possible?
And
What else is possible?
What else is possible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Wow. And
Come
ask
and
it
let it
with
go.
that childlike wonder. You know, wow. What else is possible? I wonder what I could create. Wow.
Yeah.
And feel it. Really feel it.
Mm.
And feel the joy that choice could bring you. And it's that joy that the universe hears and goes, oh, here, do you want some of this? But don't limit it to how we will receive it. Be open to all
Don't try and
possibilities.
control it.
Right. Right.
You wouldn't be a
I'm talking
control
to
freak, would you?
Caroline too with that.
Oh, I grew up with all that energy. Believe me, compared to where I used to be.
Acknowledge that. Acknowledge that.
Oh, I do. I pat myself on the back for that one. I gave up a lot of that control crap.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, I have. I know I
Cool.
probably got more to do.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's Gabi.
All of us. Me too. I'm a recovering control freak, or
Yes.
you know, as
We
Dane
all-
said in the last class, I don't know what to call you because you're like beyond control. It's like, oh, I thought I was getting better.
Yeah, I know. You hate it when someone tells you you're not. After all the work you do.
It's all right. So, okay, what would it take to change that? Right? That's what I was
Yeah.
asked. What would it take to change that?
That's right. What would it take? Thank you, the two of you. I love you. both.
Welcome. Yeah.
Thank you, Colette. Love you too. And you know, there's no judgment.
Yes.
No judgment. I know you.
I don't have time to judge me or anybody else. So I actually do. I judge myself badly sometimes.
But I'm
And I have
glad
to
that Colette asked that question, you know, because a lot of people, I'm sure they would love to go to your classes. I'm sure they would love to go to all sorts of different classes, right?
Yeah.
And they're just not sure of how to go about doing that because they don't know what all the tools are, what all the different tools are, right?
No.
And
no.
how to include the body in that conversation as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just, you know, body, do you want to go to this class, you know?
Yeah, choose it. Ask the body, okay, so what can we do now to create that? And then just work towards it. I mean, I've had people that have saved just for the one class. Saved money up to just come for the one class. Paid me in €10 notes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a lot of €10 notes to pay for one class. And I had one lady who drove 8 hours to come for a private session to drive 8 hours home.
Wow.
What? And she was so joyful. But again, there was the money, and it was all small notes. It was really quite amazing.
And she's committed. She's committed to change.
Yeah.
Right? She's committed to choosing something different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
If you really, I mean, I always used to say, I have a friend in New Zealand, and she couldn't afford to come to a bars class. But she'd buy a dozen $30 bottles of wine for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was a bars class.
Yeah.
I said, you know, if you didn't drink for a weekend, you'd have a clear head on Monday, and you'd be able to come to a bars class. Choices.
Yeah, choices. True. And then she probably didn't even see that before, you know, like.
She didn't see it after. Nothing changed. I love her to pieces, but nothing changed.
Okay, got it. But you know, sometimes, you know, you're right. You know, that is a priority. So like, you know, I could go out and spend a couple of $100 on a bag, whereas I could use that for a class, you know, taking a class, or now buying Bitcoin is the big thing for us in this house. Am I frozen? No? Okay.
Absolute. Yeah.
Right. So it's your priorities.
Yeah.
And so it just looking at that and say, how badly do you want it? And what would it take for that to show up? Or what would it take for me to choose that even, you know?
Absolutely. And that comes with health as well.
Comes with health as well?
People used to say to me, and to be able to recover like you. I said, well, but you haven't.
I'd be able to, what,
I think,
sorry?
what do you mean?
You were cutting out.
That they would do anything to be healthy again, to get out of the wheelchair, to be able to walk.
Right. Yeah.
And I'd say to them, but you haven't. You haven't done anything.
Yeah.
And you haven't really chosen. It's still just the wish.
Yeah. Wow. So what are you willing to choose for yourself? What are you willing to now do differently for yourself so that you can create your life to go beyond mediocre to infinite possibility? And are you truly willing to choose that? Do you desire that even? Or is it just words?
Yeah.
Is it just a concept? Or do you truly desire to create your life? And when you say it like that, Greg, it's like, yeah, right? It's like people say all the time, oh, I've done everything. Well, you haven't done everything, because if you would have done everything, something would have shifted and changed.
Yeah.
So then we have to take a look at really, okay, what else is there? What else is possible?
Absolutely. What energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to just have more joy every day? Just choose more joy.
Choose more joy.
Just more joy.
What energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to have more joy every day?
Yeah. And watch it grow. Acknowledge it and watch it grow.
Yeah. The more you acknowledge it, the more it will grow. The more it will show up in your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So run that every day. Say it in your phone and run it on a loop, and then start to see what suddenly starts to shift and change. Because honestly, really, joy is why we're here. We're here to experience joy.
The joy changes you. Mm-hmm. It changes your body.
Changes the chemistry and the chemicals in your body and being too. Joy.
It changes how you look.
Yeah.
I mean, I posted a photo of me from 5 years ago now. And when I first showed that to Gabi, she goes, "Who is that old man? Why are you showing me this photo?" I says, "That's me." She goes, "No way. If that's you, then I wouldn't have even looked at you." Just as well, hey? But we changed.
It's so funny because and I've said this on one of my other calls, but I swear to God, I'm looking younger and younger and more beautiful as I get older. It's like, because like my daughter, she's like 19, right? And she says to me, "Mom, you're so beautiful." It's like, "Thank you." And it's like, each time she sees me, because she's in Canada, so she's like, "Mom, you look so beautiful. Thank you." But it's like, I don't know what it is other than that I'm living in so much joy. I have so much more joy in my life, have so much more space in my life, and life is fun, and I'm choosing that, right? So I'm choosing the joy, I'm choosing the fun, I'm choosing the space, I'm choosing how I'm going to create my life and what else that I want to experience, right? So choices. So keep choosing. Greg is typing away.
It's Gabi. Somebody's using my name and typing a message. It's Gabi.
Okay, I was going to
let go how joy has to look. It might be a Greg, an Irish wolfhound, a horse, a house, traveling. Just ask for joy, and the universe will show you what brings you joy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Exactly. You don't have to define.
Good one, Gabi.
Good one, Gabi. Thank you. Yeah. And so Caroline said, "Thank you for these miracle classes." She's loving these shows. She's so cute.
Cool.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. So I know we went longer today, but that was because we kind of cut off at the beginning. So I wanted to, make sure that you all got everything and more from this beautiful conversation with Greg, because even though like some of you may not have met Greg in person, but you know, his energy from this conversation has just been amazing, right? So magical. And we've all been able to experience that space that he talks about, you know. And I mean, I'm just so grateful that that I have met you in person, that I have been able to give you a hug, that, you know, that I'm just so grateful, because your energy is just so lovely and so beautiful and so healing, you know, to me, even though I haven't totally opened up yet, you know, I mean, let's face it, we still got a ways to go, but still there's already been a shift since I met you the first time, you know? And so thank you.
Hi, you're welcome. Thank you for inviting me on the show and have a chat and just talk about what I just feel is so important.
Exactly. And so much is possible for all of us and our bodies, you know, because we don't have to be limited, you know, anymore. We don't have to choose, you know, those things that we've been choosing. We can choose different. So this call was so brilliant and so wonderful, even with the technical difficulties. It was just so exactly and more of what I wanted to share with everybody, especially with the body, because I'm only now recently starting to get in touch with my body. That it was not something I included in my universe very much until the past year or so. So I wanted to have this conversation with you, Greg, especially about the body, because I know how important it is. And when we don't include it, we cannot create, right?
Absolutely. No.
If we don't include the body, we can't create anything here in this 3D reality, in this physical plane.
No.
Right? So, you know, be engaged with your body, ask questions, you know, and, you know, what else is possible for you and your body. So thank you so much, Greg. This is wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for your questions, for your patience, for sticking through it with us, with all the technical difficulties and everything. So thank you. And,
thank you.
Greg shared a link. I don't know if it was Greg or if it was Gabby, but there's a link in the chat, so get it now.
Gabby.
I'm not sure what it is, but it's a YouTube video. Greg, do you know what that is?
I think it's the one from last night from the book, I think. Okay. We did a live Zoom book, and Gabby read the chapter from the book that just got released. And it's in English and German. So.
Okay. Perfect. So I will take a copy of that for myself so that I can add it to the gift page. Okay, right?
Yes, please. Thank you. Yeah, that would be great.
All right, let me just add it here so that I have it. Perfect. Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you. Yeah, this has been so beautiful. Thank you, Gabby, for your contributions too. I love Gabby. She's so wonderful. So thank you. There she is. Thank you. You're such a gift, such a gift. All right, everyone, thank you so much. I'll be sending out the replay in about an hour or so. So please do watch this again. I'm only going to post this one.
Thank you.
So just remember, just watch this one. So thank you, Greg, and have a wonderful time in New Zealand. And
yep, we will.
Yeah, and I'll see you when you get back. You know, so have a wonderful time, safe trip. Yeah, wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to just unmute all of you for a second so you can all say, you know, thank you and bye. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you,
Greg.
Thank you,
Lauren. Love you all.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you, everyone. Bye for now. Until next time, continue to live your life filled with joy, peace, love, abundance, and happiness. Sending you all much love and blessings always. Bye for now.
Bye.